I don't mind doing the dirty work. I don't mind doing the dirty work, bro. I don't. At my job, I collect the mail. I don't mind. Some people might, you know, they can't see themselves doing things like that. Collecting the mail. You need a stapler? I got you. You know, just little things that I don't know in the workforce where people might seem it's minute. But to me, I look at it like, oh, I do that at home, and y'all gonna pay me a check to do these type things? Oh yeah, I'm with that all day. You know, no offense to everybody who want to be at the computer or at the cubicle typing and all that, but that ain't really my style. But I know how to do that too, though. But
that's what's up.
I just look at that as school work at work. I never knew that kids of incarcerated parents was like a stigma until like I saw the type of work that he did. And I was like 15, 16 when I discovered him. And I'm like, oh, I already knew I was black and we a stigma, but I didn't know that it's another box they try and put me in as well. So like you said, until someone share their stories, then you be like, oh, that's me too. And then, you know, you just persevere from that.
The harder you grind, the bigger you dream.
The harder you grind,
the bigger you dream.
Hey,
the harder you grind,
the bigger you dream.
Whoa.
The harder you grind,
The bigger you dream.
The harder
you grind, the bigger you dream.
Let's get it, let's go. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said the harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said you're up and I'm up. You're now tuned in to the Grind Hard Dream Big Show. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I got a special guest in the building. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people, man.
Man, my name Fonzo. Everybody know me as Houzmazoonnetwork, founder of Houzmazoonnetwork.
Man, how you feeling today, bro?
Feeling blessed, feeling grateful, feeling good, can't complain, you know, weather nice, it's all good.
Facts, you know.
Invite, you know, to this podcast, so I'm feeling blessed, you know, feeling appreciated.
For sure, man. God woke us up and we seen another day, so I ain't nothing to complain about. No worries, no stress, none of that. You ain't got to worry about none of that. So for sure. For the people that don't know, like your upbringing, where you were born, where you were raised.
From Washington, D.C., I grew up like in the Northeast Brooklyn area. Went to Brooklyn Elementary, went to Bacchus Middle School, went to M.N. Washington High School, and then I graduated from Theodore Roosevelt.
Okay. You know, I ain't gonna lie, like, you know, I wasn't really familiar that much with D.C., but when I think of D.C., I think of, you know, the culture, and of course, you know, you got Northeast, Northwest, Southwest, Southeast, all the, you know, the four corridors. So like on the outside looking in, you know, me being from Maryland and everything, I'm like, the DMV is just a place where everybody can know everybody through
it's
something.
Like that, yep.
You feel me? So what was like some of the hobbies or things you found yourself like doing as a kid?
So, you know, basically grew up at the rec center, you know, recreation baby. So basically into sports, playing video games, simple, mischievous things boys get into, you know, during them adolescent years. But basically sports helped guide me, you know, and help me dream. You know, once I had that sports vision, I was able to dream. But, you know, just riding my bike, doing kid stuff, going bowling, going to parties, go-go's. You know, that's typical kid playing the video game, typical kid stuff.
Yeah, and outside was outside. It was different back then. You know, people was
actually outside.
Actually outside, yeah. You know, I would go to the park. Don't need the phone to go to the park, though. You know what I mean? Or riding the bike, Or, yeah, you know, Ma said that you got to be home when the street lights is on. Yeah. So make sure you there. That was kind of like, you know, you looking at the weather, you looking at the time, or whatever like that, that was kind of like your GPS. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Around that time. So that's definitely dope. So with those hobbies and things like that, as you kind of like transition, right, to like maybe I say like high school, like how was kind of like that for you?
I mean, I was always like popular. So like having friends and stuff or meeting new people was never very hard for me. So it was kind of smooth, the transition of just like figuring out who you are and knowing who you are. And, you know, it was smooth for me, just like I ain't have to try to fit in. And I credit that to like my situation. I ain't have to go outside to try to impress people or to learn about the streets. I had people in my household who made mistakes where I just learned from them, so I didn't have to, do wild things that go on when you in the urban inner city and there's a lot of peer pressure every day you step outside your house. So it was kind of smooth for me. Only I could crash out.
Got you. Yeah. Nah, I think that's important that you said that, because when you're talking about, household, or you're talking about different things, like how to stay grounded, how to stay rooted, having that foundation early can definitely pay dividends into, who you are today.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
As you were able to navigate through that, right? You talk about peer pressure. I know that, for us, of course, us being males, at that, it's like, okay, peer pressure could be, different, where it's like, okay, well, it's, like I said, trying to fit in. So-and-so, once you go to the party, you like, nah, I got to study, I got to do all that and all those things. So how were you
or
able
even
to
so-and-so want you to just knock out that homeless man over there, or let's just go around and take something from somebody. I know I ain't raised like that, and I
Right.
got enough sense to be like, I don't have to do that. I don't have to take nothing from no one as long as I'm doing the right thing. I got peoples who gonna look out for me. But you gotta have a voice amongst your peers to be able to say that.
That's
and
good.
don't care what they gonna say, oh, you scared, you whatever. You gotta have a voice. So,
I agree.
that's how I look at that.
I agree. Yeah, definitely having a voice and just knowing that too. I think that it's essential to know that you have a voice and knowing that you are important. In basketball terms or just in life in general, like you are the MVP. You're the most valuable person.
Yep.
Now, I mean, to any situation, and I think that when people can look at it that way, it gives you a different perspective. Because when we talk about MVP, it's so competitive, whether it be basketball, football, whatever sport.
Yep.
But we have to start telling ourselves that we are the most valuable person.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? In being the salt that's in this earth. You know what I'm saying? That's on this earth, and things like that. So I think it's very, very important in doing that. So when you transition from like the childhood to like the adulthood now, we like, all right, I'm really an adult now. Like, what was that moment for you where you like, man, you know what? I ain't a kid no more. Like, I'm an adult now.
So,
it's real.
Don't you know how they will? When you playing sports, they always tell you have the backup plan. And, they say the education is what's going to help your backup plan, I guess. I was just fortunate enough to be able to get a college education. And I guess I was able to market myself against other young professionals coming into Washington, D.C., trying to get a job. So, what I'm basically trying to say, me having an educational background helped my transition into real life adulthood kind of smooth, because with the education I was able to get a job, move out of my mother's house. Now I got to pay them bills. And without a job, I won't be able to meet my expenses. So, and I look at it like, if I ain't had no education, or if I ain't go to school, then I still be probably with my mother, or depending on other ladies or something like that. So I just look at it like my education helped me transition into adulthood to be a self-sufficient man.
That's fire. I think that's definitely important too. I think education never stops.
Yeah.
Like I say, I feel like you can always learn so much information. Of course, you have, kindergarten all the way through, your elementary. Then, of course, you have your middle. Then you have your high. And then, from there, your college, whether it be an associate's, a bachelor's, a master's, PhD, doctorate, doctoral. Ain't trying to stumble over my words. But all of those things, it's just your level of education and wherever you see fit to continue to, climb up the ladder. And I think that that's definitely vital and important that you said that, because education can open doors that other things can.
Yep.
So being able to do that, what did you, pursue? Like, what was your thing?
Business.
You felt like?
I always was business minded. Used to sell candy in middle school, used to sell candy in high school. Just had dreams and visions of just owning a club one day when I was a youth, just like, I'm going to own a club, just business mind. So when I went to school for business, got a business degree, come home like 2016, a lot going on, a lot of entrepreneurs breaking out. I don't know what I'm going to do. So I decided I'm gonna get a camera and just put the camera on everybody, and it became something, which is Houzmazoonnetwork. So it's like I got a business. So now it's time for me to operate my business. So it went hand to hand.
Got you. And like Houzmazoo, like for the background information on that, like how did that, like the name and everything like that, how did that like come about?
So Houzmazoo is basically a playoff of TJ Houzmazoonnetwork, used to be a wide receiver in the NFL for the Cincinnati Bengals. It was just like an NFL fantasy draft commercial. His last name Houzmazoonnetwork. I guess it's kind of a tricky last name on the commercial. They was like, who's Manili? Who's your mama? Who's Mizzou? And I guess I supposed to look like him. So you with your friends, they joning, boy, you look like who's Mizzou? And it kind of stuck every time I come around. They like, who's Mizzou? And I'm like, what it do? Then I thought about it. I'm like, ain't nobody name in the city that. So I'm going to change that's my name now.
Got you.
Facebook, MySpace. I just been running with it since like early high school years, and becoming an adult, turned that to my business. My brand is a brand. Houzmazoo is a brand.
Got you.
You know?
For sure. And I think that's definitely dope how you kind of already like foresaw that, or, people already was gravitated towards it, or like just kind of gave you that constant reminder. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, that's the name. And you could sit there and be like, all right, well, what am I going to do with it?
Yep.
Can I turn this dream or this idea or whatever y'all keep sitting there saying?
I never knew what I was going to do with
that.
it until, I stumbled upon my camera, and I'm like, what I'm going to name it? Houzmazoonnetwork.
Got you. And, it speaks to, of course, how you love sports and how you're able to tie all of those things in
together. Hey, now that you put it like that, I'm like, dang, the name come from sports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It comes from sports. TJ Houzmazoonnetwork was a tier 2 wide receiver to Chad Ochocinco.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He was a dog, though. You know what I'm saying? He was like that.
He was official.
You feel me? So, like, with that, I think that is definitely, dope that you're still able to tie that into the passion and what you love, right? So it's like, dang, okay, I came up playing the sports. Now all of a sudden it's like, oh, I can spotlight other people that are playing the same sport that I love as well. So, like, when you took the camera and, maybe interviewed your very first person, per se, like, what was that kind of like? And then from that moment on, like, how'd you know that you really, like, had something?
So my first vlog, I went to my homecoming out college, Central State University in Ohio. And everybody like to be on the camera, for real, just having fun, talking, they talk, whatever. And I put it on YouTube, and I see it was getting some views, so I'm like, I'm gonna just, now I'm back in the city. I saw how my out-of-town network reacted to it. Let me see how my city reacts to certain activities I go to. Went to some basketball games, came across an artist, interviewed him, Will the Rapper, and it just picked up from there. But when I kept being consistent going to the basketball games, it just picked up. And I was like, I got something, can't stop now. We started at the bottom. The only way to go is to the top, forward with it. So, and it's something I created. So
yeah, only way is up.
Yeah,
only way is up. I like that.
For sure.
And I think that sometimes we get that moment where we're like, all right, cool, we did this once, we did this twice, we did this 3 times. It's like, now, I got motion. Like, I got some traction behind this thing, and now I know that it's real. So with you being able to, take the camera, interview these people, like, how has the networking been for you? Because I'm pretty sure it's like, now it started like this, it's going like this. So, how's that been for you,
It's been a blessing. It's been cool, I guess some perks of it is, getting invites to certain things, now that I probably didn't used to get invites to. But the biggest thing that caught my eye with it, when I first started going to the jams, at the games and the games I was going to, it was really only me in there. So, but now I see a lot of youth that kind of look like me, talk like me, walk like me with the cameras now. So I feel as though me doing that done had an impact on the youth in itself. If they see someone that they could relate to doing something that, might not be deemed culturally or whatever, however they want to put it, that's what stand out to me. But it just been good, and it's something I could tell my son about. Son, this what I do, this what daddy do. I'm Houzmazoonnetwork, our YouTube channel, this our business. And I could just build on it from there, but mostly saying how many kids picked up that camera that's from DC public schools.
Yeah, that's good. It's being an outlet, because it's like you ain't even really think that this camera or something I was gonna be able to tap into would kind of like be my outlet.
Yep.
And for me to.
I ain't thinking to want people to want to sit down on their chair and have conversations and get to know me a little bit more. I did not think that, but it's cool.
Yeah. And that's how God worked.
Yeah,
that's
for
exactly
sure.
how God worked, bro.
For sure.
That's how it be. Like, you would sit there and be like, wait, what? This idea? We doing this in real time? Like, wait, what's going on?
Getting invited to school banquets as the host.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, dang, this opportunity never really would have presented itself to me. But as long as the kids rocking with me and the parents and the administration, I feel as though, how can I go wrong?
Yeah.
So...
and that's definitely dope as well. So for you, like covering the events and things like that, and you just like watching basketball and being so passionate about it, of course, like what impact do you feel like, or like how does that make you feel when you are, interviewing a player, regardless of the school either he or she, like plays for?
It ain't really about me. I want them to feel special. So it feel good knowing that I have a platform that the kids and coaches look forward to and want to be a part of. Because sometimes when I say we live on Houzmazoonnetwork, some of these coaches and kids, the smile on their face knowing and like, it's we on the network, like that bring me some joy right there. But just giving the kids, small public speaking opportunities, because they about to be in that camera more, or if they get to the next level, they help prepare them for stuff like this, media all in their face, stuff like that.
For sure. Yeah, I think that's, media training. I think that, all athletes, or not even an athlete, I just think that all people, like you're trying to also have them be in tune with public speaking, which is so important and so vital, because it's like, all right, cool, like this is what, this is what's needed and necessary. Yep. It's like, I'm the sports center before the sports center. You know what I'm saying? So on the ESPN, or that bigger interview before you try and get it or whatever. It's like a pit stop. Like, all right, man, you gotta come in. Then it's like, all right, bet you come over here. All right, cool. You know what I mean? So I think that's definitely dope. So how you are able to like network and build, I know you were saying also like in DC, but it's also taking you to, also interview players from, Maryland as well. So how was that? Kind of like, I know Maryland ain't too far.
No,
it's not far at all, y'all.
This the DMV. Saying, they consider our area the DMV.
Right.
So, of course, if Cam Ward, who went to Largo, graduated from Largo, he played for Michigan State right now. Of course, if he making noise, PG County right across the borderline, I'm gonna go out Largo and see Cam Ward. I even discovered a kid from out this area, Keon Scott. He go to Meade. Anne Arundel County Player of the Year. He should be making noise too, but I'm in love with basketball, so I know about kids from other states as well. So I just pay attention to all of it.
Right, for sure. Yeah, and I think that's definitely dope. I mean, for me, PG baby, I know, of course, from the,
There's another PG baby. He come from your school too. You said you went to Flowers, right?
Yeah.
Brandon Brooks.
Brandon Brooks like that.
He up next, coming by the Flowers. Flowers should be a state contender next year too, as well.
Yeah, baby Brandon, man. I remember. I remember when he was hooping at Just.
Okay.
He was hooping at Just before all that.
That's
man.
a middle school.
Yeah, Ernest Just Middle School. Yeah, they won the championship.
I just heard about them. I ain't really too familiar with PG County middle schools, but I came across John Hanson.
Yeah, John Hanson.
Middle school.
Yeah,
and then
Montessori.
Montessori.
Corey
and they
Hawkins.
played Just.
Yeah, they did. Corey Hawkins like
That's another kid that I've been hearing about, purring in my DM. Hey, check this out.
Yeah. Corey.
I went out there, checked it out. Corey official.
Yeah, Corey official. Yeah, he a dog. Yeah, and that championship game was bittersweet for me because I'm
Okay.
like, man, you know, Corey a dog on one side, but you got Chico and them on the other side.
I heard
man.
about him too.
And
I
he's a
haven't
dog,
seen him in
yeah.
person, but I've been hearing about
Yeah,
Chico.
yeah, one of the top guards. I would definitely say in middle school, and he played for Team Takeover as well.
Gotcha.
So now I'm saying like,
They going to the ninth grade, right?
Yeah.
Now they going to the ninth
Yeah,
grade.
that's
So
what I'm
some of
saying.
the
So they
top
go hoop.
incoming freshmen.
Yeah. So like
For
I
sure.
said, with that, it just builds a whole network of all these people, man. So, you know, from them to like Hoop Buzz and all of that stuff, it's just
Shout out
so
to
many
all
people.
them.
Shout out to everybody that's being able to spotlight the youngins.
Yeah.
Because I think that's very, very important. They look forward to it. It's like, dang, man, I open up my phone and it's like, dang, bro, this the wave. I'm on, you know, Houzmazoonnetwork. I'm on
Yeah.
Hoop. I'm on whatever.
Whatever,
Like you
inside
on
the
something though.
lines.
You feel what I'm saying?
For sure.
And because you're on that, it's
To
dope.
go back to your like how networking been for me, honestly, bro. Like I said, people already kind of knew me in the city, so people see what I'm doing, and you know they connecting me to other people they may know, and I'm doing something positive. So coaches trying to get with me, players trying to get with me, parents trying to get with me. So, and it's a business, so you never know. People see potential in me, and they just try to get to know me.
Yeah. They're invested in the person first before
Yeah.
anything else.
Yeah.
And they're being able to see you in real time and not just being like, oh, yeah, that's a dude that just interview players and that's it, that's all.
Yep.
Like, you have literally been able to take your brand, your business, and be able to invest and also build those relationships along the way.
For sure.
Where it's like, all right, cool, that's going to be very, very important. So, like, through all this, though, bro, like, what are some of the things you feel like with, you know, working with the youth, what are some of the things where you feel like, man, you know, this is so rewarding to do because now you're, like, able to, like, help? Because we can all look at, you know, some of the things that they face, the adversity and all that, but, like, when you're able to, you know, come into a space and kind of be like a safe space, because I consider you a safe space
Yep.
for them. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? When you push and record and you interview them, like, what are some of those things you see, bro?
It's a beautiful feeling just to be that type of person to the youth. Because I came across this one kid, Kareem Smith Bay. He another kid that's balling, right? But I guess according to his mother, he don't even speak a lot. He very shy, you know, quiet kid. He saw me one day, he came up to me, and he started talking to me to the point where his mother approached me and like, who are you? And I'm like, I'm Houzmazoonnetwork, I do this, I do that. And she was like, no, I'm only asking you because my son don't talk. And for him to come up to you and started talking to you, that meant, like, it sparked her attention, like, let me get to know who this guy is. So it just feel good to be a positive person in the community that they see. You know, I show them with my son. I show my son a lot on my page. So just to show them, like, I'm regular. I'm a regular person too. I'm human. You know, I just try to be positive, show them positive things. Me going to work, me being at work at my job, me being in the community, me being at community events. It don't even got to be sports related.
Right.
And me being a father or a family man. You know, I just try to lead by example.
Yeah.
Too, you know, without even knowing that it may influence or have an impact on the youth.
I'm glad that you said lead by example, right? Because leading by example sometimes can be hard when you never really had it or you don't know what it really looks like.
Got you.
And sometimes I be on the fence because I'm like, all right, this is what I'm supposed to do. I walk into it and it sounds like you've embraced it all. And you're figuring it out as you go.
Basically. That's
And it's
basically
like, all
how
right,
it
cool, I'm going to
is.
figure it out as I go.
Go.
And I think that's definitely important how you sitting there saying that. It's like when to lead, when to be able to do that, and what that looks like. Sometimes it's like, all right, I'm going to be on 10.
Like
Or
now
something.
I'm starting to realize, or once I started, about 2017, that's when I started to realize I'm a leader. You know, the signs was always there when I was young. People just wanting to hear my opinion or just following after me. I'm not saying following after me, but just wanting me to be a part of them.
Yeah.
You feel me? So now that I'm older, I'm like, you know what? I'm a leader. Like you said, I'm going to embrace it. And if the people rocking with me, I'm gonna try to lead them the right way, but I have to lead myself first.
Yeah.
And if they get any ideas from it, that's what's up.
Yeah, no, I agree. I would say one and the same too. You know, like when you always have people that want to be a part, I think that they realize how influential you are, and then they also realize like how impactful you can be.
Mm-hmm.
And I could, be a testament to that myself. Like as I go back and I look at, well, hey man, like, hey yo, God, how did we get here? And it's like so many things that have transpired, from you being, in school and all of these things. And it's like, all right, cool. All these things that mold you, shape you, and you go through the trials, you go through the tribulations, you go through the tests, you go through all of these things, and you're like, okay, I've dealt with I've dealt with A, B, C. Now I'm seeing X, Y, Z.
Yep.
Right now, all of a sudden, I'm able to, navigate, maneuver, and go through all the motions and see all these things, and it's like, wow, okay, you know what? I get it now.
Yep.
I done failed this too many times. Now I'm willing to pass. I'm willing to, just listen or even be obedient to what's going on. Because sometimes we'll be like, why are we going through the same test? And it's like, because it's something that God is trying to reveal to you or show you.
Yep.
Maybe it's character development. Maybe it's, hey, you was moving too fast on this. Or maybe it's like you were so caught up in no that you didn't realize that the no was the not yet.
Yep.
You feel what I'm saying? So it's so many things that, we can go through and see.
It is, though. Like, I feel as though I ain't going to say my life was already written, but the higher power most definitely painted, like he already had it out for me to where if I just do right, I'm going to be a trailblazer amongst my family. I'm going to be historical amongst my family. Both of my parents was incarcerated. Father, 25 years. Mother did some time, but they say kids of incarcerated parents are XYZ times likely to do the same thing. Or even if you don't have no incarcerated parents, us, people that look like us, are XYZ to go to jail. So when I realized that, like, oh, just don't go to jail and finish school and just try to do the right thing, you cool. Now I'm the first person in my family with a college degree. And everything I do now, me being the owner and me just doing business, is history amongst me. That's how I look at it, and that's, how I look at it, because everything I do is history. And I think everything we all do is somewhat history, even though I don't know how everybody's upbringing is, but I feel as though they trying to put us in a box. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be the first to do a lot of things if you really out here trying to make things happen.
Yeah,
that's how I look at it, because I feel as though I'm historical.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think everybody is, and to your point, kudos to that, because like you sat there and said, like, I think that we're in a time now where, breaking the generational curses, all of these things can come about, and we're like, okay, well, if not me, then who? But then it's like like I said, embracing everything, mm-hmm. and then being able to take it on and be like, okay, cool, because I know if I do this and I'm set free, then people around me can be set free too.
Yeah,
not sitting there saying like, yo,
we just gotta apply ourselves. That's what I did. I just applied myself,
mm-hmm.
and doors just started opening up for me.
Yeah,
in them adult years.
Yeah, and sometimes that's what it be.
Yeah, but a lot of us don't have that person who did it before us to know what it looked like you said.
True.
So that's another challenge in itself too.
Yeah, mentorship, and mentorship is key. I think that also, like, if you're really trying to learn something, you got to surround yourself in that and put yourself in that environment. And I think that for us, sometimes we look at environment and we look at atmosphere, right? Atmosphere to me is like something that you can always like create,
mm-hmm.
but in an environment it's like, man, I'm always around that. So if I'm always around that, like, what do I have to do to get away from it? And sometimes it's literally like blocking the outside noise. I tell myself, like, the light work is easy when the shadow work is done.
Okay.
But the shadow work is like a consistent thing. So like that's like that what you're doing in private that shows up in public. So they know it's like, okay, bet. You was doing all the reps, you was doing all the practice, and when nobody was looking,
yep,
camera won't on, whatever.
Yep. You was in the library and studying.
Yeah, now you studying, you getting your reps up. Now in public, you seeing that. And that's really like God's proclamation per se, or God's rewarding and being like, oh, I've been with you the whole entire time, so you know what's going on.
Yep.
You've been working. You ain't tripping off of that, because I think it's the level of focus and what we put our focus on. Like for you, it's like, all right, bet I'm covering one game, and now I can cover another game. But now, if you ain't covered that first game, you don't get to the, you covering the championship game or a Met or something like that, like something of a higher stature.
Just putting in the groundwork.
Because sometimes we look at, oh man, we want the big stage, but let's steward the little stage first.
Yep.
Steward the things that God has given you already, so that way, you could be rewarded more.
Yep.
And sometimes we miss that because it's like we don't even want to steward what we got.
Yep.
Like,
I don't mind doing the dirty work. I don't mind doing the dirty work, bro. I don't. At my job, I collect the mail. I don't mind. Some people might, they can't see themselves doing things like that. Collecting the mail. You need a stapler? I got you. Just little things that I don't know in the workforce where people might seem it's minute. But to me, I look at it like, oh, I do that at home, and y'all gonna pay me a check to do these type things? Oh yeah, I'm with that all day. No
Right.
offense to everybody who want to be at the computer or at the cubicle typing and all that.
Right.
But that ain't really my style. But I know how to do that too, though. But
That's what's up.
I just look at that as school work
Yeah.
at work, and I ain't really trying to do no school work at work.
Yeah, I get
I'd
you.
rather just be a liaison to you.
Got you for sure. Help a hand.
Yes.
Help a hand. That's
Yes.
cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. That type of
Yes.
hospitality work.
Yes.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you, brother. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. And I think that's cool though. I think everybody has their own, like niche and, style and stuff like that. Like, I was working customer service before all that.
It's
Like,
all
I was,
in that. I come,
I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah, I came from that. So it's like, I worked at my school before, like going to the school. That was a summer job that I had. Then
You heard of City Year? My fault for cutting you
You
off.
said
Have
City
you
Year?
City Year?
Yeah, I've heard of
Reg,
City
I
Year.
did. I did a year City Year too.
Okay.
Core year with them as well.
Yeah, I had a summer job, with PG at first, and then I was working at Flowers High School, the school that I graduated from.
Okay,
You know what I'm
that's what's
saying?
up.
Then after that, graduating from Flowers. Then after that, worked at Best Buy. And
Gotcha.
after working for Best Buy, worked at Buffalo Wild Wings, and then worked at FedEx, still worked there. And then, like I said, working in the school system. So I always felt like God was like, you're going to always work with people.
Gotcha.
It just didn't matter to me. It was just like building those skills. And I felt like you can learn so much from any job you have, because
Yeah,
it's
for
literally
sure.
like building your resume, but also building yourself up in, personal development, character development, all these different things. And then it's like, okay, cool. And now transitioning and working with the youth, I was seeing so many different things. It's like I knew I was going to be able to work with people, but, God is like, no, you're going to work with this age group now. So it's like embracing that, because I'd be like, wait, me?
Yeah.
Like, I was a little hard-headed. I was a little stubborn. I
Yep.
was a little, what I'm saying, pride, ego, all this, but it's like, yeah, he'll take all of that and still use all of that. And I think that it's like you still got to be wanting to be used,
Yep.
regardless of how you are. So
Yep.
I think that those are the
I
different
don't mind
things.
I'm a public servant, I work DC government. Technically, you're a public servant.
Yeah.
So I don't mind. I'm here to serve.
Yeah. I think that's a good
I got a
thing.
question for you. What is like, teaching them kids at your alma mater, man?
Yeah, well, for me, like, I was able to speak to my alma mater. I mean, you said teach. I'm speaking that into existence. I hope I could teach that one
Okay.
day for sure. But I think for me, it was just a surreal moment. When I go back and I visit and I see, like, my guidance counselor that still works there. Shout out to Mr. Bose. She helped me a lot, like put me in the right classes or just helped me. And she really wanted to like pick my brain about, hey, what did I want to do? So like media production, I was taking that in high school. And now all of a sudden, full circle moment is like
Yeah.
the same class that I took, same class that I'm, passionate about now when it comes to communications and getting that degree. So, it's a surreal moment, man, because sometimes
That's what's up.
you'll feel like you're not ready or you feel like you disqualify yourself per se, but it's like, nah, man, like God qualifies the call.
Nah, it's
So,
funny you said that. I just
yeah.
got invited to McKinley Tech Career Day.
Wow.
Like you said, I'm like, am I ready for that? I'm looking at myself like, am I ready for that? Should I sign up? But I went ahead and signed up, and it's just like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm
And you're gonna go in there and people already know what you do. So it's like your
tell my story.
Your story's meant to be told.
Yeah, for
your
sure.
Your story's meant to be told, and I think that's another thing too. That's what I would want to encourage people. Like, don't be afraid to share your story. Don't be afraid to tell it, because your scars aren't only your scars. You know, like your upbringing, what you've been through, and all of that stuff. Like, some people just may want to find a connection. Who could they relate to? Who could they feel, safe sharing with? I mean, of course, God is our safe space, but when it's like, okay, a go-to person, somebody that you could call, somebody you could connect with, you never know unless you share or you say something.
Yep. Speak like, that's funny you said, you heard of Tony Lewis Jr.?
Yeah.
I never knew that kids of incarcerated parents was like a stigma until like I saw the type of work that he did. And I was like 15, 16 when I discovered him. And I'm like, oh, I already knew I was black and we a stigma, but I didn't know that it's another box they try and put me in as well. So like you said, until someone share their stories, then you be like, oh, that's me too. And then, you just persevere from that.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I think that, it's so much things, because we get so caught up in the work sometimes, but what is like the self-care like for you? Like, how do you like just unwind sometimes? Because I be feeling like you could get called to like any game, anything, and it's like, all right, bet I be there. But
I mean,
just
that's a good question, man.
You,
I don't really know how to self-care, so I just basically look at it like, as long as I'm around my family, my lady, my son, I'm cool. I like massages though. If that's self-care.
Yeah, that is.
Massages, I guess I don't really get them as much as I like them, but I like massages. But as long as I'm around my family and my son, I'm cool, man. I need to learn how to self-care more, put it like that. I don't really self-care. I just go, bless, wake up, see another day. As long as I'm with my family, everything cool, I'm cool.
Yeah.
My mother say she proud of you, son, when she see me. I'm cool, bro.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And sometimes it's like, that reassurance and hearing that. I mean, for myself, I can relate, because in the beginning it's like grind.
That's my
mentality. You can just sit there and just
too.
be grinding, working. And we don't even acknowledge the burnout, because we so passionate about what we do. We like, it got to get done regardless. Like this week has been like a week where I was just like, all right, bet. I'm sitting there doing this, maneuvering, working, gotta, appointments and making sure that, this gets taken care of, this or that or whatever. But it's also realizing like, okay, you gotta enjoy the moments and just like continue to like breathe, continue just to walk or whatever
Meditate.
it is. Don't, take your mind off even though for me, I'm so business oriented, like people around me that, that know me is like, always talking about business. Like, what about that? What about this? And it's like, just being able to chill, decompress, be on D&D, like get off my phone. I struggle with that.
I'm struggling with that
Always on the phone.
currently.
Like, always on the phone.
I struggle with that currently, but I'm aware of that though. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to, find ways.
Yeah. Because the minute you open it, it's like, is it business oriented? Somebody called you, all that. So it's like, dang, you got to unplug. So sometimes I'm just challenging myself, but like I'm happy with my screen time. My screen time is way better than what it was before. Like I ain't on it 24/7. So,
but since you have a business, do you think you own it because of business? Because of your business? I feel the same way. Because if I ain't have a business, I don't think I would be on it as much as I'm on it. So.
I agree. Yeah, I think that's the reason for it being. But I think self-care, like you said, like whether it be massages, like for myself, I think is, like taking walks. I love to run. So, the weather breaking, 5Ks, things like that, just being able to exercise, be on D&D, not making myself like less accessible. Because I think that sometimes when you just everywhere, you find yourself just running a whole maze, circle. And it's like, what you running that circle for? Who told you to run that circle? You know what I'm saying? Who told you to do that? Like telling yourself no, or telling somebody no and not feeling guilty about it is something that have learned in the last 2 years. And it's okay.
Yeah.
because you can't be everywhere. You're gonna burn yourself out. You're
Yep.
gonna drain yourself out because your passion projects, things that you want to get to, you're not gonna be able to get to unless you prioritize yourself. So I think that comes with the mental health also. It's like knowing like your sanity, what what you consume, what you watch, and all that stuff. So mental health is definitely important, man. And I was able to pay attention to it. I mean, I know pandemic had everybody in the house, but I think at that particular time where there was so many restraints where you weren't like outside, it kind of like forced me really to like deal with myself. Where it's like look in the mirror, like, are you proud of who you are? Like all these tough questions, and it's like, whoa, dang, man. Because if you're not grinding, you're not working. Like, are you attached to that so much that that's your identity? Like,
Got you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you feel
My
what I'm
son
saying?
was
So,
born
yeah.
2018, so like during the pandemic, he couldn't go to daycare. We was out of work, so that was just a time for me to like really see him grow. So that's how I looked at that period for me. Just more time to see my son grow. Because at first, like you said, I was out and about at this event, at this game, and next thing you know, he 2 years old. He just was 6 months. Now he 2. But the pandemic, brought me and my family closer.
Thank God for that. And I think that was an essential time in a year that we ain't gonna forget. 2020 is a year that we
For
ain't gonna
sure.
forget. And I think that was also something that was, I think as we look back on it as it happened and things that are happening now, it's a blessing.
Yeah.
A blessing in disguise. I feel like because some people could look at it and be like, man, that was the worst time. Da, 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 da. But I think that
It was a blessing.
It's a blessing.
I made the most money in my life ever in the pandemic. So, like, it was cool, but there was some dark times in the pandemic as well. You lost some people. So
yeah, and it's like those trials and tribulations and that adversity that you have to overcome. So, I salute you for that. I salute you for just giving, a voice to our youth when you're recording them and you're asking them questions and how they feel important and making them feel seen and making them feel heard. I think that's the biggest thing with this generation.
Yep.
They're ready for the spotlight.
yeah, they are.
They're ready.
They
They're
are
ready for the spotlight.
They
are.
want it. They want the spotlight. They do. And believe it or not, that's how sometimes I discover some players. They actually come up to me and introduce themselves to me or slide in my DM. Especially the female athletes. A lot of them, they promote themselves. Hey, check me out. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Next thing you know, I'm checking them out, and they could really ball.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah.
They are ready for the spotlight, though.
Yeah.
But we was once them, though, wanting recognition for whatever we do or wanting, some shine as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Exposure.
Yeah, exposure is key, man. Exposure is definitely key. So as you continue to, like, navigate and things like that, man, the things that keep you motivated, I mean, you family oriented. I love that and all those things as well. So like, what would your motivation be for like the youth? Like, what advice or what words of encouragement would you give the youth?
Stay true to who you are, because I believe you know who you are, even though they say you still figuring, you're trying to figure yourself out when them adolescent ages. Stay true to who you are. You gotta dream and have a vision for yourself to even know what you're trying to do out here. I know some people might not have no dreams, but have a dream, stay true to yourself, do the right thing, find something that you like to do and try to make that a career. Education is key, but education is not for everyone. So like I said, find something that you like to do. And it's 2026, man. Content creators made it possible for anybody to do something out here and get paid and have a career for themselves. So find something you like to do. And this to the young men or the men. Fatherhood, the best hood, the rep, claim, and bang, man. Fatherhood, the best hood, the rep, claim, and bang. To the young mothers, motherhood, the best hood, the rep, claim, and bang. Other than that, find something you like to do and apply yourself to that, and you never may know what may come out of it.
For sure, I salute that. I salute that. I like you said that, and I think that it's important how you highlighted the importance of family.
Yeah.
You know, for the men to embrace fatherhood, for the women to embrace motherhood, because families matter. You
For
know,
sure.
Foundation matters. All of that matters. All of this works. You know, like I said, for me, I'm nothing without God, family support system, and I'm just grateful for all of that. And I just think that that's how that operates in that order.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that firm foundation. You know, you got to be able to stand on that, so that way you don't fall for anything
Yeah.
out here, man. So, what's next for the network, man? What's next for the business, man? Like, what do you got?
Potentially summer league events. I'm trying to do a mental health awareness walk too. I lost my cousin to suicide back in 2023, only 19 years old. So I'm trying to tap into that space or pivot into that space since I'm dealing with the youth. And, after my cousin's situation, I've been hearing about other situations like that amongst, younger kids. So any way that I can incorporate mental health within, like, sports, I'm trying to get into that. But merch coming soon, events, and, just more content.
For sure, absolutely. And like I said, I definitely support. So when it comes to that, and I definitely think that collaborations with like maybe a mental health awareness.
Yep.
Grind hard, dream big. Who
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like we can
Like
do
I
that.
said,
We
I'm
can
trying
do
to
all
tap
types
into
of
that
things.
mental health space because, I was a victim of it. So I'm just trying to learn a little bit more or what resources I could provide to the kids dealing with mental health issues that they're dealing with.
Yeah, for sure. We could definitely set up some workshops, some engagement where, we're able to, meet those needs and be able to help, because like I said, our youth, is so vital, it's so important. It's essential that, we can pour into them as much as we can.
For sure. They our future. I remember we was the future.
Yeah.
You feel me? Now and that it's just crazy. Like you said, I'm an adult. That's crazy. Be 35 next month. Still can't really believe it.
Wow.
Honestly.
Wow.
Blessed though.
Yeah, blessed. It's like the leaders of the new school. It's like we the new OGs.
Basically.
Yeah, it's
that's
crazy.
crazy.
It's crazy, right?
That's
it's like,
crazy.
Whoa, yeah.
Like you unk.
Yeah,
like,
you unk now.
You hear me? But it's all good though. Long as unk, taking care of business, doing the right thing. Ain't nothing wrong with unk.
Right, for sure,
You feel me?
sure. Absolutely. I mean, I think for the youth, I would definitely just tell them, like, don't be afraid to start anything.
Yeah.
Like,
Don't be afraid to step out your comfort zone too, though.
Definitely step out your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to dream. Don't be afraid to fail.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to try. But I would definitely say train.
Yeah.
Don't
Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah, that too, being coachable. I think that myself, I can reflect and say that I've still used the word try. And when I use the word try, it's like a word of defeat. So I would sit there and tell people to, like, train yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, work on your vocabulary. Like, the words can't. Don't tell yourself you can't do something unless you can. Like, for me, I'm used to, comfortability and stuff like that. And this week, I stepped out of my comfort zone. I drove a van for the very first time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have never drove in a van before, but drove a van for the very first time, probably maybe 10 miles or something like that. But either or, it was just the simple fact of me doing that and trying. So, you never know.
Small goals.
Yeah,
small goals
things.
And things that you set out for yourself, like you said. Like, you never drove a van before, but you did it now. You could say you did that before. Check that off your checklist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I said, a lot of things we do will be historical, coming from, like, the backgrounds we come from, bro.
Yeah.
So whatever we do, we trailblazers.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. So I appreciate you for pulling up, man. I appreciate you
the
for having
invite,
this conversation. I think when people see this, they'll realize, like, anything is possible. We know that. And, if God can use me, he could use us. He could use anybody. And like I said, he is at the center of everything, and he qualifies the call and all of that stuff, man. So from one brother to another, man, keep doing what you do.
You already know, man. Appreciate the invite, man, for sure, man. It's always feel good to be appreciated or, people checking out what you got going on.
For sure, absolutely, because we're essential. Like I said, we're essential, and like I said, we appreciate it. And like I said, from one brother to another, we're gonna keep rocking and
For
we're
sure.
gonna keep going, man.
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying? So
We the leaders of the new cool.
leaders of the new cool.
Yeah.
Okay, leaders of the new cool. Leaders of the new school, leaders of the new cool. You
Yeah.
heard that. Okay, I like that. For sure, for sure. So how can people follow you? How can people support anything you got going on, man?
Y'all can follow me on Instagram at Houzmazoonnetwork, LLC. Houzmazoo, HOUZMAZOO Network, NETWORK, LLC. Follow me on X at Houzmazoo. Houzmazoonnetwork.com. Get some merch. It's the network, pretty much.
For
It's
sure,
the network.
for sure. Y'all already heard that, man. And like I said, y'all make sure that y'all tap in. Like I sat there and said, anything when it comes to sports, you know what I'm saying, hoops, he definitely got you covered. You know what I'm saying, DC, Maryland, VA. I'm going to say DMV now. I'm going to say
Yeah.
local now, but it's local than global. So I see
Yep.
it beyond, you know what I'm saying, the DMV and all that stuff, bro. So I'm rooting for you. I see you, man.
I'm rooting for you too, bruh. I discovered you on DMV Hoods and News, and for me to be talking to you right now, it's like, dang, that's what's up, man.
I
That's
appreciate
what's
it,
up.
man.
I ain't never think I was gonna run into you. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, the power of social media and the
Yeah.
power of networking. Don't be afraid to network, y'all. You
Yeah.
never know where it could take you. For
Yeah.
real, for real.
For
You
real,
never
for
know where it
real.
could take you. For real, man.
Nope.
So I appreciate you, man. We're going to keep grinding. We're going to keep working, man. And you already know, the harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said the harder you grind, the bigger you dream. You can't grind hard if you don't dream big. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. And we out.
For sure. For sure.
Soundstripe.